Rocket One, hello.
Hey, is this Scotty?
Is this Steve?
This is Steve Brown from Trixter, brother.
Steve, how are ya?
Doing great, bro. Doing great. Rocking and rolling. Rocking. Had a great summer out on tour, and we are into the fall season, so let's fall into some more rock and roll.
You're a pro, aren't you, Steve?
I've done this for a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, hey, I want to introduce you to everybody properly because you might be humble and you might embarrass you a little bit, but you've done a lot. So entrepreneur, writer, producer, singer, guitarist, multiple bands. Damn. Steve.
Wow, you're making me sound a lot cooler than I really am. So thank you. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing over there?
Oh, well, they're ready to rock. Saturday night, you're going to be at Kuwait Casino's Dreammakers Theater, and we're looking forward to that with your boys and Pretty Boy Floyd and Enuf's Enough. Have you hung with those guys before this tour, or is this something new for you?
No, well, we've all been friends. I mean, this Spirit of 1980 tour and Spirit of 1989 tour that we put together last year, it's kind of like a rock and roll high school reunion because we've known all these bands. We all grew up together pretty much, when we were in our teens and 20s. Chips Enuf is one of our oldest friends that we met even before we got signed.
Sure.
So, traveling with these guys, and Pretty Boy Floyd, I don't know if you guys know, but we were label mates together on MCA Records back in the 80s. And I remember the first time I went to MCA Records when we were making the first record in 1989, and one of the guys said, "Yeah, we want to play one of these new bands," and he pulled out the Pretty Boy Floyd record. So Steve Summers and the guys have been friends for a long time. So, yeah, that's what this is. This is a wild and messed up, awesome high school reunion of rock and roll and pop metal.
That's awesome, man. And you're scratching me right where I itch. I love that stuff. I mean, I'm the guy that still has, like a wall of CDs in my basement because I never traded them or got rid of them, and they're a very heavily all the 80s stuff. That's what I'm all about. So I always loved you guys. I do have to say something. It's just a bit of a downer right off the bat, but obviously we lost Ace recently, and I know you guys were tight. I mean, that had to be a gut punch.
Yeah, I mean, Ace was my first guitar hero, my biggest influence. Kiss and Van Halen, Ace and Eddie Van Halen were the reasons that I started playing guitar and became obsessed with music. And then fast forward to becoming, brothers with him. I mean, him and I were super, super tight. I produced the last co-wrote all the songs and produced the last Ace Frehley solo record, yes. 10,000 Volts. It's just so tragic. I was at the wake the other day, and it was heavy to say the least. We are all going to miss our superhero Ace, but at least I'm happy to say they had a beautiful service for him. The priest gave a wonderful homily and a parting goodbye for Ace, and Ace was pretty religious, so I'm really happy with that. I know he's up in heaven now. He's hanging out with Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads and John Bonham, and I'm sure he's having a couple beers and shots because he doesn't need to be sober anymore. So God bless him. But honestly, man, thank you for that, and the outpouring from all the fans and my friends all around the world has been overwhelming. The love for Ace, and that's the most important, and his legend will live on forever, and the music, most importantly.
Absolutely, yeah. I gotta be honest with you, I didn't realize you were so involved with the 10,000 Volts album until, of course, I did some digging, and I thought, wow, because when I heard that, when I first heard even the song 10,000 Volts, I thought, wow, this is taking me back to Frehley's Comet, kind of sound, and I really liked it. And now I know why, because, you were a part of it and producing and the guitars and helping out and writing, and I'm sure you sang backup, and you probably did a lot with it. So hats off to you, man, because honestly, I'm not just stroking you. But
No, man.
I heard it, and
and you know
that was
what?
great.
That means a lot, and thank you, because, the most important thing, making that record and working with Ace said to me after the first day that we worked together, he said, Steve, I want to make sure that every song on this record is great. And him and I locked eyes, and I'll never forget it. I said, if you trust me, I promise you we will make the best Ace record since your 78 solo record. And I think we achieved that, and the fan response for the last couple of years on 10,000 Volts has been that. And, again, what a way to go out, and it's a great musical bookend for his career. So and for me, it was one of the greatest musical experiences I ever had, making a record and working with another artist. So thank you, Ace, and thank you for the kind words.
Super cool. Yeah, I was hoping you were able to make it to the wake, because I heard Eddie Trunk talking about it, and I thought, I said, man, I hope Steve gets there. Because once I read about the background, I mean, you even grew up with his wife. I mean, there's a deep connection there. So very cool, man. I just wanted to make sure we gave him the proper, mention, and the fact that, hey, that's so awesome. You got to hang with him for that long and became friends with him. That's really cool.
Yes, it is, man. God bless Ace Frehley, man. He was deep down. He was a great guy. Above and beyond the music. We had so much fun together, and he cared about everybody in the world. And he was a very, very heartfelt guy. I don't think he got enough credit for that. So He was a good dude deep down. And he loved his daughter, and that's most important.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, now back to you and what's going on now. Shifting gears, but man, I didn't realize either, and I remembered it once I saw it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember he did that. You got to fill in for the Def Leppard guys. I mean, how crazy was that? You get up in front of, I think it wasn't your first gig, like one of the festival ones where it's like, tens of thousands of people or something out there?
Yeah, my first gig with Def Leppard in September of 2014 was the NFL pregame at London Wembley Stadium, the most famous stadium in the world, arguably.
Wow.
In front of 90,000 people, broadcast to 1 billion people around the world. Yeah, talk about pressure. Like I always told those guys, I said afterwards, I said, man, talk about feeding me to the lions and the hungry leopards out there. I said, you guys know how to sure make somebody feel welcome, throw me out in front of that. But, the Def Leppard guys have been friends and family of mine. Phil is like my older British brother. Since 1987, I've known them. And when Vivian was diagnosed with cancer, it was a unanimous call that I'd be the guy to step in and fill in for him. So, yeah, just crazy. One of those moments where I look to my left and I go, oh, my God, I'm actually playing Photograph with Def Leppard right now. I couldn't believe this.
That's wild. Yeah, I can. And I know you must have locked yourself away for like a long time, because not only do you got to learn the guitar parts, you got to learn, their live show and how it flows and how he interact with Phil. And if you're filling in for Phil, you got to figure out how to interact with Viv, and it's the one's a Les Paul style, sort of the rhythm guy. The other guy's the flashy whammy bar, finger tapping guy, and you had to learn it all. That's wild.
Yeah, well, like I've always said, luckily Def Leppard has always been one of my favorite bands and one of my biggest influences. So their music is kind of part of my DNA, like Kiss and Van Halen and Bon Jovi, the band. Those are the 4 bands that I would say is the biggest influence on me as far as creating Trixter. So it wasn't that bad, that hard, but it was. And I've said it before, but Def Leppard, I don't think they ever get enough credit for how intricate some of their songs are and their songwriting. And again, it was an honor and a privilege to be able to help out my friends whenever they need me. I was there for them, or for 10 years, and and they know that I'm there should they need me in the future. And it was I got to tell you, I have lived such an incredible rock and roll life. It's beyond words sometimes.
Well, I mean, you started when you were 12. I mean, that's crazy to me. I can't. And I somewhere in an interview or something I saw, they asked you if you thought you were any good at 12, and you surprised me, and rightfully so. You said, yeah, because I had already been playing for 5 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah, well, I started Trixter when I was 12 years old, but I was 8 years old. I started playing guitar in 1978, and again, it was Kiss, Rock and Roll Over, and Van Halen 1, those two records that changed my life forever, and those bands, and of course, Edward Van Halen and Ace Frehley were the two guitar players that made me obsessed with guitar and songwriting, and how I was able to start Trixter in 1983, and by the summer of 1984, we played our first show.
Well, hats off to you, man. I know you and PJ have kept the band together and producing music and over the years, and I know you go in and out and you get doing different projects and stuff, but that's got to be fun when you guys do get together and tour and like you said, relive the magic and the fun and everything, because I'm all about that.
Well, that's what it's, look, we are so blessed. PJ and I have been playing together for, almost 40 years, and no matter what the trials and tribulations that we've been through over our career, it's definitely more good than bad. But with that being said, we still are best friends. We're beyond best friends. We're brothers. He's the little brother I never had, and we still have the best time creating music, playing music, and really when we're out on the road, we're like a comedy team, because all we do is try to out-joke each other every day because as laughter is sometimes the best medicine, and when you're out on the road with some of the speed bumps that we hit, man, sometimes you just got to laugh to get through it, and we have certainly done that for a couple decades now.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll tell you what, I will let you go because I know I appreciate your time. I do want you to, I have your whole catalog here. Give me a song. Well, I'll outro this interview with a song of your picking, not One in a Million, not Give It to Me Good, not Surrender, but a song that you think didn't get what the props that it should have got, or it just kicks ass for you when you play it live, or what comes to your mind?
Well, I would have to say it would be Heart of Steel, which is the second song on the debut album that was potentially going to be the fourth single off the debut album, but MCA Records decided that with 3 singles was enough. But Heart of Steel is definitely one of my favorite, and I think one of the fan favorite songs, and we play it live. We've been playing it live every show since we started out on the 1990 tour, and here we are, 35 years later, still playing it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to roll that. I'm looking forward to seeing you and hanging. Hopefully we'll get a chance. I'm going to be broadcasting live before the show, so hopefully you get a chance to pop out and say hi. And
without a doubt, we will be there. We love, hey, man, I love the sound of my voice, so I can't wait to be on live radio with you.
All right, Steve. Looking forward to it. I can't wait to see you shred, too, man. Oh,
it's going to be great, man, for sure. Can't wait to see you guys. We'll see you at Sault Ste. Marie, Kewadin Casino. We're going to rock it. Love you guys. Bye.